Historically, money has always had three primary functions: to serve as a medium of exchange, to store value, and to measure value. But it no longer properly fulfills any of them. It is failing at its only job and is becoming useless. Money is arguably one of the greatest human inventions. Without it, you would have to trade 80 chickens for an iPhone. Although, to be fair, we probably wouldn't have developed iPhones in the first place. The point is that money makes life easier and allows growth to accelerate. Now, fiat money accelerates growth even more, since it is no longer tied to a physical commodity. But it has a small problem. It struggles to fulfill its three core functions. The first function of money is to be a unit of account. In simple terms, money is the measuring stick of the economy. Just as we use feet to measure distance or pounds to measure weight, imagine trying to build a house where the ruler changes size every week. On Monday, it measures 3 feet, but by Friday, it measures 2.5. It would be impossible to build anything. That is exactly what is happening with money today. Due to constant inflation, money has stopped being a stable measure. When prices rise uncontrollably, we lose any clear sense of what is expensive or cheap. The system makes the unit of measurement elastic. If a company cannot calculate its costs 6 months ahead because the currency fluctuates too much, planning disappears. Money fails as a unit of account because its relative value is a moving target, turning the economy into a guessing game where the citizen always loses. Let's move to the second function, being a store of value. This is perhaps the most important function for your personal freedom. Money should allow you to freeze your current effort and use it in the future. If you work hard at 20 and save that money, it should allow you to buy a similar amount of goods at 60. But the current system has decided that money must lose value. Under the modern central banking model, a target inflation rate is pursued, usually around 2% per year. This sounds low, but it is a silent tax. At 2% annually, your money loses nearly half its value in 35 years. If inflation rises to 7% or 8%, as we've recently seen, your savings evaporate in a decade. The system prevents money from storing value because it is issued without limit. When a central bank prints trillions of new monetary units out of thin air, it is not creating wealth, it is diluting the wealth you already have saved. By failing as a store of value, the system forces you to become a reluctant investor. You can no longer simply save, you must risk your money in stocks or real estate just to avoid being poorer tomorrow. Money has stopped being a safe haven and has become a hot potato. The third function is to be a medium of exchange. As we saw at the beginning, money was created to eliminate barter. For this to work, it must be widely accepted, easy to transport, and divisible. You might think, well, at least I can still use cash to buy bread, so this function still works. But as money loses its other two functions, the medium of exchange begins to fail due to a loss of trust. In many countries with monetary crises, people begin to reject the local currency. They prefer dollars, gold, or even a return to exchanging favors. But there is something deeper at play: surveillance and control. Modern money is becoming digital and centralized. Today, your ability to use money as a medium of exchange depends on whether a bank or a government allows it. If money can be switched off, or if it has an expiration date, as proposed with some central bank digital currencies, it stops being an instrument of freedom and becomes a mechanism of control. The medium of exchange is no longer free, it is conditional. Historically, money had a cost of production or a natural scarcity, like gold. You couldn't simply invent more value. But since 1971, we have lived in the era of fiat money, money by decree. Modern money is not backed by anything physical, only by faith in institutions. The system causes money to fail because it has broken the link between effort and reward. When the government needs money, it simply creates it digitally. This produces an effect known as the Cantillon effect. Those closest to where money is created, governments and large banks, receive it first and spend it before prices rise. By the time that money reaches you, inflation has already occurred and you are poorer. Money no longer fulfills its functions because it has ceased to be a tool of citizens and has become a tool of the state. It has shifted from being an asset, something you own, to a liability, a debt promise from someone else.
If money does not measure value honestly, if it does not preserve the fruits of your labor, and if its use is conditional, then it is no longer money. It is simply a point system that devalues itself to keep an infinite debt structure afloat. Understanding that money is becoming useless is not the end of the world. It is the beginning of the search for alternatives. Because history teaches us one thing: when a society's money breaks, that society looks for or creates something better.